The room was silent. Cold light filled the space, soft and sterile. A faint hum came from the machines lining the walls. Blue monitors blinked in rhythm with the steady beeping of a life support system. Inside a transparent pod, a human male lay, completely still, pale skin, shaved head. A thin scar ran along the side of his jaw. His chest rose and fell slowly, like he was lost in a long, dreamless sleep. Then, suddenly, his fingers twitched. A shudder ran through his arm. His eyes opened, wide, confused, unfocused. Bright lights above blinded him. He squinted and tried to move, but his body felt heavy, weak. His breathing quickened. Panic started to rise. Shapes moved above him. One shape stepped closer, tall, thin, not human. Blue skin shimmered under the lights. Its face was smooth, with large black eyes that reflected concern. A soft voice spoke, gentle and shaking. Careful, human. You've been in a coma for over 20 years. The man blinked. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. Just a dry gasp. He tried to sit up, but sharp pain shot through his back and chest. His muscles failed him. He fell back into the soft lining of the pod. The alien reached out quickly, placing a hand on his shoulder. You are safe, the alien said quietly. But your body is fragile. Please rest. The man closed his eyes for a moment, trying to slow his breathing. Everything was a blur. He had no memory. Not of this place. Not of the being in front of him. Not even of himself. He looked up again, lips barely moving. Where am I? The alien paused, as if searching for the right words. You are aboard the medical vessel Solus, orbiting a neutral moon. You were placed here after the final battle. You have been unconscious for 2 decades. The man swallowed hard. His throat ached. The words made no sense to him. Who am I? He asked. The alien looked down. Those dark eyes softened, with what looked like sorrow. We only know your name. You told us before you fell. It is Adam. Adam. The name sounded strange, like it belonged to someone else. He tried to focus, but his head throbbed. Images flashed in his mind. Fire, screaming, a face, a woman smiling. Then nothing. He turned to the alien. His voice was faint. What happened to me? The alien hesitated. You were a pilot in the human defense fleet during the war with the Sarn Dominion. You volunteered for a mission, one that saved thousands. But the explosion, it damaged your ship and nearly destroyed your body. Adam stared blankly at the ceiling. The words felt hollow, like pieces of a story he had never heard before. Why can't I remember anything? He whispered. Your brain went through deep trauma. We tried many times to wake you, but your mind remained lost, until now. The alien sat beside the pod, folding its long arms carefully. I am Kailari, your recovery supervisor. I was here when you arrived. I have watched over you since. There was something in Kailari's voice, not just duty, something deeper. Adam turned his head slightly. His voice cracked again. Why? Why would you stay for so long? Kailari looked away. The silence stretched for a moment. Because ... you mattered, not just to your people, but to us. Adam closed his eyes. Flashes came again. A corridor. Explosions. Holding someone's hand. A promise. Then, darkness. He opened his eyes again, tears forming without reason. Did I have a family? Kailari's expression turned even more solemn. We don't know. Records from Earth were lost in the final attacks. But before the mission, you asked us to deliver something. A locket, with a picture of a woman. Adam's lips trembled. Can I see it? Kailari nodded slowly and stood up. She walked to a nearby drawer and carefully pulled out a small silver object. She placed it gently into his hand. Adam looked at it. His fingers trembled. He opened it. Inside was a tiny photo. A young woman with kind eyes and dark hair smiled at him. His breath caught. I know her, he said, voice breaking. I don't know how, but I do. Kailari sat quietly. Her gaze stayed on him. She was important to you. Maybe. She still is. He looked up, pain and longing in his eyes. Where is she? Kailari did not answer. He tried again to rise. His muscles screamed in protest. Pain rippled through his body. Kailari rushed to stop him. Please, you must rest. You're not ready. But Adam's voice was firm now. Tell me. I need to know. Kailari knelt beside him, her voice barely above a whisper. You saved us all, Adam. But you paid a terrible price. Adam stared into her eyes, and for the first time since waking up, fear filled him. Not of the alien beside him, not of the war he didn't remember, but of what he might find. Once he remembered everything. Adam sat in silence, his hand clutching the silver locket. The woman's face stared back at him, calm, beautiful, familiar. But her name wouldn't come. Neither would the memories. His chest felt tight, like something important was missing, like something had been taken. The medical pod hissed softly as it opened wider. Kailari stood nearby, her blue fingers moving across a glowing console. Her movements were graceful, almost too gentle for a being once part of a military species. She turned toward him with a soft tone. Your neural scans show increased activity. That is good, but it may come with pain and fragments of memory. Adam nodded slowly. His voice was hoarse. Fragments, like dreams. Kailari tilted her head, like ghosts. They will come without warning and leave without answers. Adam pushed himself up further. Every muscle resisted. But he wanted to move. To feel something again, Kailari stepped forward quickly to support him. Her touch was warm, even though her skin was smooth and alien. He looked at her, confused. You act like you care. She paused. Then she replied, I do. There was no hesitation in her voice. Just truth. Adam looked away. He felt the weight of her words, but he didn't know how to carry it yet. Kailari helped him to a chair near the window. Outside, space stretched endlessly. Distant stars flickered like tiny eyes watching him. Where is Earth? He asked quietly. Kailari didn't respond right away. She tapped the panel beside the window. A blue hologram appeared. It showed a damaged solar system. Debris floated where once planets had been. She pointed to a glowing dot. Here, what remains of your home world? Adam stared at it, a hollow feeling growing in his chest. It's gone. Kailari's voice softened. No, it still exists, but it is not the Earth you once knew. Adam felt like something inside him broke, not loudly, just silently, like a thread snapping. He closed his eyes. I don't remember the war. I don't remember fighting. I don't remember anything. Kailari sat across from him. That is normal. The brain hides pain to protect itself. But sometimes, memories return when the heart is ready. Adam opened his eyes again. He stared at the stars. Why did I fight? What was I protecting? Kailari leaned in. Her voice was slow, almost reverent. You fought for love, for freedom, for your people, and for her. Adam looked down at the locket again. She was real, wasn't she? Kailari nodded. Her name was Eva. She was a soldier, a leader, and the one who refused to leave your side until the end. Adam's throat tightened. Did she survive? Kailari looked away. We don't know. That answer hurt more than a no. Adam felt a sudden flash, his hands shaking. A corridor lit with red warning lights. He was running, holding Ava's hand. She looked back at him, smiling, even as explosions rocked the hallway. Then, it vanished. He gasped. Sweat ran down his neck. Kailari was already beside him. A memory. Adam nodded. She said something. She said, Don't let go, Kailari's expression changed. Her voice dropped. She held you while your body failed. When the escape pods were full, she refused to leave, until the medics dragged her away. Adam stared at the floor, his hands clenched. I failed her, didn't I? Kailari shook her head. You saved her. She lived because of you. Adam didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a man trapped between two worlds. One he couldn't remember, and one that no longer existed. Kailari stood slowly. There is something else. Something you left behind. She walked to a panel on the wall and pressed her hand to it. A drawer slid open. Inside was a black box, small and plain. She brought it to him. Adam opened it carefully. Inside was a folded piece of old paper, human paper. It felt strange in his hands. On it, written in shaky ink, were the words, "If I don't wake up, tell her I never stopped loving her." No signature. But it didn't need one. Adam closed the box and leaned back, his eyes wet. Kailari watched him quietly. You loved her very much, she said softly. Adam nodded. I think I still do. A long silence passed between them. Then Kailari stood and walked to the door. We begin physical therapy tomorrow. If you are strong enough, we will also begin memory recovery sessions. Adam looked up. Why are you doing all this? Why stay with me when your people left this system? Kailari turned her head. Her voice was almost a whisper. Because 20 years ago, I made a choice. She stepped into the hallway, leaving him alone with the stars. Adam sat quietly, holding the locket, the letter, and the weight of a love he couldn't remember, but refused to let go. The training room was quiet. Soft lights glowed above as Adam stood in front of a smooth glass wall, gripping a metal bar. His legs shook. Every step felt like dragging a mountain. Kailari stood nearby, monitoring his movements. Her eyes watched him, not with cold calculation, but with quiet care. Adam breathed heavily. Feels like my body's not mine anymore. Kailari nodded. It was broken, once, repaired, slowly, but the soul remembers more than the body does. Adam gave a tired laugh. Sounds like something a poet would say. Kailari tilted her head slightly. Perhaps I have become one, waiting 20 years for you to wake. Adam's hand slipped from the bar. His legs gave out. Kailari rushed to catch him, her arms strong and sure. She helped him back into the chair. He winced from the pain, but gave her a grateful look. Thank you, he said softly. Kailari placed a cool cloth on his forehead. You're improving faster than expected. Your willpower. It's something no other species matches. Adam looked at her with a tired smile. Is that what started the war? Kailari's smile faded. No, but it is what helped you survive it. Adam sat still. The silence between them grew heavier. Then he asked the question he had been avoiding. Tell me what happened. The truth. About the war. Kailari stepped back. Her eyes dimmed. You really want to know? Adam nodded. Double quotes, yes. I need to know what I fought for, what I lost, and who I was. Kailari walked to the wall and pressed her palm to a panel. The lights dimmed. A large screen came to life. Images of deep space filled the room. Ships, battles, fire. This, she began, is the story your people were never supposed to survive. She pointed to a massive dark ship. It was shaped like a floating fortress, its surface covered in sharp towers and weapon pods. The Sarn Dominion, a species older than your stars. They conquer, consume, and erase. The screen showed Earth, blue, beautiful. Then flames, explosions, crumbling cities. They came to your world, expected surrender, but instead, they met resistance. Adam watched, jaw clenched. His hands gripped the armrests tightly. They underestimated you, Kailari continued, because no species had ever fought back like humans did. No fear, no retreat, only fire. The next image showed humans standing side by side with alien allies, ships built together, fleets rising. You, Adam, were We're part of the Shadowlands, a hidden fleet built from technology our alliance gave you. You were our hope. Then came the last image. A massive explosion in space. A moon-sized ship torn apart by light. That ship was the Sarn's command vessel. You flew into its core. Alone. Adam's heart pounded. Flashes returned. Screams. Heat. Her voice in his ear. Eva. She was with me, he whispered. Eva. Kylari nodded slowly. She led the distraction fleet, while you went in. He looked at her. Did I survive the explosion? Kylari's voice softened. No, not exactly. She turned off the screen. We found your body floating in space. No life signs, but your brain still flickered. We rebuilt what we could. We kept you alive, because you had earned it. Adam stared at his hands. So I died. Saving people I don't remember. You became a symbol, Kylari said gently. To us. To the galaxy. The human who flew into death with a smile. Adam stood slowly, gripping the edge of the chair. Then why do I feel so empty? Kylari stepped closer, her voice barely above a whisper. Because symbols don't feel, but you are still human. Adam turned to her. His eyes held pain and confusion. There's more, isn't there? Kylari looked away. Yes, there is something you haven't remembered. Something even your body fears to recall. Adam swallowed hard. What is it? Kylari hesitated. She was with you, Eva, when the ship collapsed. His heart stopped. What? Kylari nodded. She disobeyed orders. She boarded your fighter at the last second. You both flew in together. Adam grabbed the wall for balance. His breath was shaky. I left her behind. Kylari stepped forward. No, you shielded her with your body. You told her to escape. She refused. She fought beside you, until the end. Tears welled in Adam's eyes. The pain was real now. Sharp, deep. Kylari touched his arm. We recovered your body, but never hers. Adam whispered her name, Eva. Kylari stood silent, watching him break. Then he looked up, voice filled with something new. A fire. Then she might still be out there. Kylari blinked. After 20 years, it is unlikely. But Adam shook his head. I don't believe in unlikely. I believe in her. A long silence followed. Then Kylari spoke, her voice quiet. If there is even a chance, I will help you find her. Adam turned toward her. His eyes searched hers. Why? Kylari's voice trembled. Just once. Because I loved you too. Even when you didn't remember me. Adam froze. Kylari stepped back. I will never ask you to choose. I just want to help you remember what you fought for. The lights flickered, slightly. Outside the window, a small ship arrived. Kylari walked to the door. I have something to show you. Something Eva left behind. Adam followed, his body weak, but his spirit stronger than ever. Whatever the truth was, he would find it, even if it broke him. The room Kylari brought him to was dimly lit. The walls were covered in soft white light panels that pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. In the center stood a pedestal. On it rested a small cube, smooth, black, and quiet. Adam stared at it, then looked at her. What is it? Kylari stepped beside him. Her voice was softer than before. This was recovered from your ship's wreckage. It was coded to your DNA. No one else could open it, not even me. Adam stepped closer. As he reached out, the cube shimmered, recognizing his presence. A quiet click echoed through the room. The cube opened. A hologram burst to life. It was Eva. She looked tired, worn, but her voice still held that calm warmth that shook Adam's core. If you're seeing this, she said, then you survived, and I didn't. Adam's breath caught. I never wanted to leave your side. The message continued. But if you woke up, I wanted you to know. I never stopped loving you. Not for 1 second. The image flickered. She looked down, I gave Kailari the order. If anything happened to me, she was to stay by your side. She volunteered before I even asked. She loved you too. The message ended. The cube closed. Silence. Adam stood frozen. His heart was torn in two directions. The past, with Eva, and the present, with Kailari. He turned to Kailari, eyes filled with questions. You knew about this? That she said that? Kailari nodded, slowly. Yes, I've watched that message 1,000 times. Not because I wanted to steal something from you, but because I needed to remember that what I feel is real. Adam's voice was quiet. And what do you feel? Kailari looked into his eyes. For once, her voice shook. I loved you before I even understood what love was. Before I understood how deeply a human could care. I was assigned to protect you. And I stayed after they gave up. I stayed when the stars changed. When the governments fell. When Earth stopped answering. I stayed. Because you mattered to me. Adam said nothing. Not because he didn't care. But because he cared too much. And didn't know what to say. Kailari took a step closer. I know I can never be her. I won't even try. But I won't lie either. Every day I sat beside your pod, hoping you would wake. And when you finally did, I was afraid. Afraid of what? Adam asked. That you would only ever see me as the one who wasn't her. Her words hit like a quiet storm. Adam sat down, suddenly feeling the weight of everything. He remembered Ava's smile, her laugh, the sound of her voice during battle. And yet, when Kailari had touched his shoulder, when she had helped him stand, when she had whispered his name while he cried in pain, he had felt something different, but real. Kailari turned away, her voice quiet again. I never asked for you to love me. I only wanted to give you a second chance. Whether that meant helping you find her, or helping you find yourself. Adam stood slowly. He walked toward her, placed a hand gently on her shoulder. Her breath caught. You didn't take anything from me, he said. You gave me a reason to wake up. She turned to face him. Their eyes locked. Then, without a word, she stepped back. There's something else you need to see, she said. They left the room together and entered a dark corridor deep in the lower levels of the ship. Kailari led him to a sealed chamber. Inside were hundreds of holographic files, mission logs, medical reports, battlefield recordings. She handed him a single data chip. This is the last transmission from the escape pod we believe Eva used. Adam held the chip tightly. You think she survived? Kailari looked at him, hope in her eyes. I believe she did, and I believe she wanted you to find her. Adam nodded. I will. Kailari stepped back, giving him space. She looked at him one last time before turning away. But just before she left the room, she said something that made him stop. You were her reason to fight, but you became my reason to wait. Then she was gone. Adam stood alone, the chip still in his hand. He stared into the darkness, and for the first time since he woke up, he didn't feel lost. He felt something else driven. He was going to find Eva, but now, he knew the journey wasn't just about the past. It was also about the heart he had left behind, and the one waiting quietly beside him for 20 long years. The lights flickered overhead as Adam sat alone in the ship's archive chamber. The small data chip rested in his palm. He hadn't moved in over an hour. Kailari had given him the space he needed. She hadn't returned since she handed him the final clue. He finally stood and slid the chip into the console. The screen blinked. A loading bar appeared. Then it began. Static filled the speakers at first. Then came a voice. Broken, but unmistakable. It was her Eva. If you're hearing this, she said, then either I failed, or I made the right mistake. Adam's chest tightened. He leaned closer. I launched the escape pod. You ordered me to, but something went wrong. I landed on a planet. I think it's called Viren 6. The system isn't mapped. The audio cracked again. Her breathing sounded strained. There's no way to contact Earth, or the fleet. I tried, but the sky here isn't friendly. I think I'm being watched, tracked, maybe by Sarn survivors. Adam clenched his jaw, every word cut deeper. I don't know if I'll survive, Eva continued. But if you're out there, if you're alive, I want you to know, I never blamed you. I knew the risks. I chose to stay with you. A short pause followed. Then her voice dropped lower, softer. I love you, Adam. I always did. Even in the end. The recording ended. Silence filled the room. Adam stared at the dark screen. His hands shook. She had made it. She had survived. But she had been alone for 2 decades. Kailari entered quietly behind him. She didn't speak. Adam didn't turn. She's out there, he said. Alive. Kailari nodded. Double quotes, yes. I have to go. I know. He turned slowly to face her. There was pain in his eyes, but also purpose. Will you come with me? Kailari looked surprised. Then she stepped forward. Even if it means finding her. Adam nodded. Kailari's single quotes' voice was calm. Then I will go. Not for her. Not even for you. But for the part of you that still believes. In hope. They walked to the hangar together. The medical vessel had 1 scout ship left. Small. Fast. Built for silent travel. As the engines warmed, Kailari sat beside Adam in the cockpit. She looked out the window. You realize this planet may be under Sarn control, she said. I don't care, Adam replied. She might not remember you. I don't care. She might not be the same. Adam paused. Neither. AM-1 the ship launched into the dark void of space. As they jumped into hyperspeed, Adam pulled out the locket again. He opened it. Ava's picture still smiled back at him. Kailari saw it and looked away. I understand if you choose her, she whispered. Adam looked at her. For a long moment, he didn't speak. Then, gently, he said, I haven't made any choices. Yet. Not until I know the truth. Kailari nodded once, holding her emotions inside. The ship raced through the stars. Days passed. When they reached Forensics, it was nothing like they expected. Thick gray clouds covered the sky. The air was breathable, but bitter cold. Ruins of an old alien colony lay scattered across the surface, and strange signals echoed through the static of the atmosphere. This place is dead, Kailari whispered. No, Adam replied. She's here. I can feel it. They searched for hours. Then Kailari stopped, her eyes fixed on a strange beacon hidden among debris. It blinked and played a message. Ava's voiced again, but this time, it wasn't just a log. It was a warning. Adam, if you've found this, don't come closer. They're watching. I'm not alone anymore. And I don't know who I can trust. The beacon shut down silence. Kailari turned to Adam. What now? Adam's face was hard, focused. We go in anyway. Kailari placed a hand on his arm. Her voice trembled. If you find her, and she doesn't remember you, what will you do? Adam looked into her eyes. I'll remind her. He stepped forward, into the shadows of a world lost to time. Eva was alive. But something was wrong. Very wrong. And Adam knew. This story wasn't just about remembering the past. It was about saving the future. The wind on Viren 6 was sharp, cold. It carried the scent of rusted metal, burnt soil, and something else, something alive. Adam pulled his jacket tighter. The terrain was uneven, scattered with alien ruins and broken towers. Somewhere, hidden, among this wasteland, was Eva, or what was left of her. Kailari walked beside him, her steps careful and quiet. She held a small scanner, its blue light sweeping the area. Adam's voice was low. Any trace? Kailari shook her head. Only shadows. They pressed on. The sky above was a dull gray, like a permanent twilight. Massive creatures circled far. In the distance, flying slowly above the ruins. But they didn't come close. Something about this planet kept everything away. After hours of silence, Adam stopped. He knelt beside a large slab of broken stone. Etched into it were human letters. faint, but still readable. Hope lives here. His fingers brushed the letters. She was here, he whispered. Kailari looked down. She left a message. For someone. Adam stared at the stone for a long moment, then stood up. They moved forward, deeper into the remains of what looked like a hidden outpost. The buildings were crude, makeshift, human tech mixed with alien pieces. Inside one of the shelters, they found it, a journal, old, damaged, but still intact. Adam opened the first page. It was her handwriting. Day 19, food is running low, cold, is getting worse. I see things in the sky. I think they're watching. He flipped to another page. Day 51, dreams are getting stronger. I see Adam's face. I hear his voice. I don't know if it's real, or just hope, keeping me sane. Adam's hands trembled. Kailari looked away. She didn't want to see him break, but he did not this time. He held the journal close. I was her anchor, he said quietly. Even when I was gone, Kailari didn't reply. She couldn't. They moved to the far corner of the outpost. A hidden door led underground below. The walls were covered in strange writing. Sarn symbols, warnings, marks of a colony long abandoned. And then, a sound. Footsteps, not theirs. Adam raised his hand. Kailari drew her weapon from the shadows. A figure stepped into the light. A woman, human, tall, pale, hair cut short, a cloak wrapped around her shoulders. She stopped when she saw Adam. Her eyes widened. She froze. He stepped forward. Eva. The woman stared, then slowly shook her head. I don't know that name. Adam's heart dropped, but he stepped closer anyway. My name is Adam. The woman blinked, her eyes filled with something. Not recognition, but confusion and pain. I've heard that name in dreams. Kailari stepped beside him. Adam turned to the woman. You survived. You left messages. You wrote in the journal. You remembered me. The woman looked down. I remember fire. I remember a voice telling me to live, to fight, but not a face. Kailari's voice was gentle. Your mind may have locked the past away, to protect itself. The woman turned her head sharply. You shouldn't be here. They'll find you. The Watchers don't like guests. Adam stepped closer. I came to bring you home. The woman's eyes narrowed. There is no home. Adam reached into his pocket. He held out the locket. She stared at it. Her fingers touched the metal. Her breath caught. A single tear fell from her eye. I remember this. Adam took her hand. It's yours. Silence then. Distant echoes. Marching. Weapons. KLRE. Single quotes. Scanner lit up red. They've found us, she said. The woman looked to the tunnel. We have to leave. Now. As they ran, Adam looked back one last time at the ruins. At the place Eva had survived, Kailari guided them to the ship inside. The woman sat quietly, staring at the locket in her hands. Adam stood near her. She doesn't remember me, he said. To Kailari. Kailari's eyes stayed on the stars outside. Not yet. He turned to her. Do you think she ever will? Kailari didn't answer, but deep down, she knew the truth. Some memories are buried, but love leaves a mark that time cannot erase. As the ship rose into the sky, the past stayed behind, but what waited ahead would test not just memory, but the heart itself. The ship soared quietly through deep space. Inside, silence hung heavy. Eva sat near the window, eyes locked on the stars. Her fingers held the locket tightly. She had not spoken since they left VIREN-6. Adam stood by the cockpit, watching her. From a distance, Kailari stood beside him, her expression unreadable. He turned to her. She's different, he said. Kailari nodded. She survived alone for 20 years. She had to become something else to live. Adam looked back at Eva. I can still see her in there. I just don't know if she sees me. Kailari placed a hand on his arm, gentle, Steady. You brought her back. That means something. He met her eyes. And what about you? Kailari smiled softly. But it was the kind of smile built from pain. I was never meant to be in the middle of your story. Adam took her hand. You're not in the middle. You're part of it. Before Kailari could answer, Eva stood. Her voice was clear now, focused. There's something I didn't tell you. Adam and Kailari turned to her. Eva walked toward the center of the ship. She pressed a button on the console. A hologram blinked to life. A map. A station. A red blinking signal. This is Station 9 Vault. It was where the Sarn kept prisoners of war, including resistance leaders. Kailari's eyes widened. That station was abandoned. Destroyed. Eva shook her head. No, it's hidden. I spent years decoding its location. And now that I've seen your ship, I think I can get us there. Adam narrowed his eyes. Why go back? Eva looked at him. Because someone is still inside. A human. He helped me escape. Adam stepped closer. You're not talking about me, are you? Eva hesitated. No. His name was Jaren. He was one of ours. But he stayed behind to buy me time. Kailari asked quietly. And you? Cared for him? Eva didn't answer. That was enough. Adam turned away. His heart twisted. This wasn't the reunion he had imagined, not the ending he thought he'd find. But he wasn't angry. Not at her. Not anymore. She had survived. That was enough. Eva placed a hand on his shoulder. I don't remember everything, but I remember how I felt when I saw you again. I remembered safety, warmth, love. Adam turned to face her. Do you love me now? She hesitated. I don't know yet, but I want to remember. I want to try. Kailari stepped back. I'll prep the jump coordinates. Adam turned to her. You don't have to come. Kailari looked at him, her eyes full of years she could never get back. I know, but I will. One last time. Hours later, the ship dropped. Out of hyperspace. Station 9 Vault. Drifted ahead. Dark, cold, but not empty. Sensors lit up. Sarntech, still alive. Still watching. Kailari locked the ship into stealth mode. The three of them slipped into the broken station through an emergency port. Inside, the walls were cracked and quiet. They moved slowly. Then, a sound. Footsteps. Not theirs. Sarn soldiers. A trap. Weapons drawn. Fire in the halls. Eva ducked behind cover. Adam shielded her. Kailari fought like a blur of light. Fast. Precise. Beautiful. Then happened. A Sarn shot fired toward Eva. Adam jumped in front of her. The blast hit him square in the chest. He fell hard. Eva screamed. Kailari rushed to his side. His eyes were open. Barely. Eva knelt beside him. Why did you do that? She cried. Adam smiled. Because it was always you. Tears fell from her eyes. And suddenly, something broke inside her. Something opened. Her memories flooded back. His voice, his laugh. The moment he handed her the locket before the final battle. I remember, she whispered. I remember you. Adam's eyes fluttered. Kailari placed her hand over his heart. Her voice was steady. He's not gone. Not yet. Eva grabbed his hand. You saved me again, Adam, but now it's our turn. Together, they carried him back to the ship. Days later, Adam opened his eyes. He was alive. Eva was beside him, holding his hand. Kailari stood by the window, looking at the stars. Adam turned to Eva. You came back. Eva smiled through tears. I never left. He turned to Kailari. She gave him a gentle nod. No matter what you choose, I'll always be proud of you. Adam looked between them. Two women, one from his past, one from his future. He didn't speak right away, because this was more than love. This was about humanity, about second chances, about choosing not just with the heart, but with hope. And in the silence of that ship, one truth became clear. Humanity doesn't win with weapons. It wins with love, with memory, with sacrifice. because in the darkest corners of space, the human heart still shines the brightest.